What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out long after we should have thought about going to bed on a Saturday night and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated that need painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die. So we're just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And just like last night playing In Sync, I don't do this alone. Joining me on the line, it's our resident monkey handler and my perennial painting partner, Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going? Oh, thank you for the resub, Phantasma. Oh, can Mike not hear me? Is this...
I can hear you just fine. Sorry, I had my microphone muted for a second.
Of course.
But I'm glad to be back after our short hiatus after our gaming last night.
Yeah, it was definitely... we went hard last night.
Much longer than we thought it'd be.
Yeah, I was just looking at the replay file. We went for 4 hours and 39 minutes.
Yep.
Like, for perspective, excuse me, the only stream, there might have been like one or two streams I've done longer than that. Notably, the big Gears one that Alex and I did was like 9 hours. RPD was here for the whole damn thing, which was insane. But so we're doing something a little more chill today. We're back to painting, and I am working on a character that was demanded by my 2-year-old. Which is very cool. I'm very excited to talk about that. And Mike is continuing to see green. He's still seeing a lot of green. Hulks. You've got Hulks. Hulks and Hulks and Hulks and Hulks. So let's just get right into it. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. Tonight, I'm working on Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat. My daughter kind of broke into my display case where I keep all my minis and found Hellcat and was like, "This one, Daddy." I was like, well, who am I to deny my delightful 2-year-old? And as I'm looking at it, I'm noticing that C27 did some of the detail that I was hoping that they would do. They did not put the first appearance claws on her feet, which is a little disappointing to me. But I'm going to paint her up like the first appearance. I have that from Avengers 1963, number 144. So the first thing we're going to need is some yellow. And I am burning up in here.
I am in the opposite. I'm freezing cold over here.
Oh my god. So my office sits right next to the furnace. So, oh, that's not going to be comfortable. Kombucha's like way behind me.
Oh, ow.
I don't really want to put it there though. Get your desk organized, dum-dum. Lend Mike your jacket. Yeah, you want my Blink 182 jacket?
I'm wearing a hoodie, but...
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Yellow. TT Combat immediately, because Citadel sucks.
For yellow, at least.
For yellow, yeah. I will.
With the exception of Averland Sunset.
Yeah, Averland Sunset's pretty strong. Like, I have that. Like, that's essentially what I'm. Well, not exactly what I'm using, but this is Spotlight Yellow, which is the TT Combat analog for Averland. And it's like fine. But the coverage is just generally a lot better, so if you can avoid using GW for yellows, do so. I was wandering about on Blue Sky, and I noticed that a lot of painters are like, well, this project that I'm working on like demands Citadel. I'm like, well, no, it doesn't, because there are other options out there.
Were you skeeting? On Blue Sky? Isn't that what it's called?
I don't know. I honestly, I signed up for Blue Sky really just to have the Another Letdown handle.
Understandable.
I just like, I don't I
No, I
don't
think
use socials for anything other than, hey, I'm going live.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they went with the they took the word tweet and then they added SK in front of it instead of because blue sky, and so
Oh,
like
okay.
officially called skeeting. When
That's
unfortunate.
yeah, that's a decision.
Yeah. It's like what boardroom were you in? And then we're like, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a common enough like term that.
Well, I mean, there's that whole song
Yeah.
from when we were, seniors in high school. Although, do you ever realize that, like, the slang from that kind of song or those kinds of songs, it was like millennial version of like skibbity?
I guess.
Like, we had dumb words too.
It's perfect.
My students have a really, really, really clever comedy sketch idea that they're working on right now. And I've already talked to them about, like, hey, if your script comes out as good as it's starting to, I might, like, my team might actually want to film this because it's actually really clever. They're taking the idea of a Liberty Mutual commercial, which I don't know if that extends down your way.
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay. I don't know how regional things are. And what if Gen Z wrote it?
Uh-huh.
So it's like they've really dug deep into the definitions of what some of Gen Z, Gen Alpha slang terms mean, and they've actually crafted an entire very clever commercial out of it.
This goblin green from Army Painter's like the perfect highlight color for this.
Nice. I used a bunch of goblin green lately because I was painting hobgoblins. Yes, my gods, I actually did off camera painting.
Yeah, I did some of that as well. I had recently gotten a couple of, I mean, I wouldn't say commissions, but they're like D&D minis for other players in my own game.
Yeah.
So I tend to just pick those up and do those since I'm playing with them.
Yeah, I think, like, I haven't quite figured it out. Like, if I pull a commission, when I pull commissions, do I paint them on camera or not? Like, one of them I've got coming up, Russ commissioned me to paint another Tarask, and I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can. First of all, I don't even know if it'll fit under the document camera, let alone. I mean, that's like months worth of streaming.
Yeah. So I ended up like painting 2 players minis for our D&D campaign. And yesterday morning when I got up, I was like, I'm not working. What do I want to do today? And I was like, I'm just gonna grab Kanan Jarrus and paint him.
Nice.
So I did.
That's awesome. I mean, my free time has if you paint something off the VOD, did you really paint it? I mean, it's debatable, Phantasma. But here we are. Yeah,
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was just gonna say the other thing I'd been working on just before streaming tonight. I did touch up both of these Hulks. I used Nuln Oil, but focused it with a small brush, like because the musculature is so defined. Like I literally just ran it through the muscles.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like, I mean, so again, we get back to the conversation we had all those months ago with Adam. Like, the three of us together paint in wildly different styles. Like, Adam tends to be very, like, rigid to the, like, a specific aesthetic of comics, like the hard black lines, flat colors, like, just done. I do a little bit of that, trying to get period accurate. Oh yeah, Blink. Hello, kombucha time. Cheers. Lemonberry, I think. Yeah, my wife picked it up today. And you go for a little bit more screen accurate is not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Lifelike?
Maybe. Like cover art. Like modern cover art.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right? And it just, like, it's the same techniques, just applied slightly differently. Your Hulk, like, on camera at least, is showing up a lot more glossy than mine. Because the version that I went for, which was not first appearance, because that didn't make sense. Yeah, it was like just a... I don't know. It was kind of... I don't know. When is the next In Sync? Okay, so we haven't talked about it.
Right now,
Yes,
surprise, we're going to turn around
immediately
and start playing it.
Audible over into In Sync. No. So I would like to finish In Sync with Broody before I bring Katrina on. We've got 3 more rooms to do, so as long as we're prepared ahead of time for a long... the Foo Fighters' long effing night, we'll get it done for sure in one sitting. But it'll be a Friday coming up. Certainly not this coming Friday because I will be in Philadelphia for PAX.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Oh, that's perfect.
Is next week and you're working
like,
to
I
work?
had plans for
okay.
like I wasn't going to be able to stream tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
But I forgot that that's PAX
Yep,
Unplugged.
it'll
so
be unplugged, so I will not be able to stream either. But yeah, I've already given Katrina her Steam code for it. She's gonna be we'll do a bunch of In Sync over the next coming months. And I've also got plans for an Arkham stream.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah. I would like to do that. I'm going to try and get... So most of the gang will be together, including Chamali, this coming weekend, so we'll be able to sit down and synchronize schedules. And we will figure that out, because I definitely... I am jonesing for some Arkham. And I have another cool holiday fun time Arkham idea that I need to send by Alex first, but yeah, it should be fun. Should be a fun little twist.
Yeah, it was very. I need to like plan better. So, I'm sad that I'm missing PAX Unplugged this year because I waited too long to try and get a hotel room and all that stuff.
So we dug into that a little bit more. PAX books the hotels. Like they're all booked because PAX booked them, and you have to go through their housing block. The problem is they don't reserve any of those for exhibitors.
Okay.
So while Flat River Group can pay for themselves in this instance, they can't get enough to pay for us. As they would at Gen Con. And the reality is, Jacqueline and I did the financial math. We're taking a massive loss on this show.
Yeah, you were telling me that earlier.
Yeah, so it's like we need to figure something else out. And what Chamali and I were thinking is, if we try to do this again in the future, we all go in on like an Airbnb or something like that. Like East is no problem. Even if Flat River Group can't get us a hotel, Alex's aunt is right there. Yeah. So like Alex and I have no problem. We're just like, oh yeah, okay, we'll just go to his aunt's. So that's why that one is so convenient for us. But and Gen Con, like, I mean, they've established a precedent at this point. Like they better be getting us the hotel. So I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. Okay, so her hair is like red, blood orange. So yeah, there's we're working on that. We're also trying to figure out some alternative places for various people to stay. Like, obviously, we want people to be in town and available for these shows.
Yeah.
And like, even Adam can't go this year, and we're like, oh, okay, that's a little weird.
So I say of all the times I went to PAX, I think Adam's only come like once anyway. But
He was there. Oh yeah, maybe it was just once. No, I swear he was there twice.
I mean, I may not have gone like one of the years that he
Oh,
was
that
there
could
also,
be.
but like
Yeah.
of all the years that I've gone, he's only been there once.
Well, Chamali texted me last night, and he was like, "Hey, you know, what are your plans for Gen Con next year?" I'm like, "Well, no, I think I'm taking a year off." And he goes, "Oh, well, I wanted to hang out with you and Adam." I'm like, "Well, so let's do that. Like,
Outside
let's
of
sort
con.
that out separately." Yeah, so there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. Chief amongst which is Arkham. I think that's how we got down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And yes, I definitely want to bring Arkham back. I miss it. The problem is, like, it is an intentionally longer stream. And what's nice though is Fridays, like, my wife goes down to get the kid from my parents because she's closer, and then as long as she's able to watch the baby monitor, like, I can stream, and as long as we don't have other stuff going on. So yeah, Arkham should be coming back, not with any regularity, but like with some few offs here and there. I'm itching. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here painting blood orange hair. What is it with Marvel and, like, red hair?
I have no idea.
You got Pepper Potts, you've got Mary Jane Watson, you've got Patsy Walker, who was actually blonde in her first appearance. But her first appearance was not her first appearance as Hellcat, so...
I mean, it's common for a lot of visual mediums.
Jean Grey.
I was about to say Jean Grey, Batgirl, like...
Yep.
Like, it just stands out. So if you, like, want that character...
Yeah.
It's also, like, I mean, with the low probability genetically of it, it kind of adds that little flair of exotic or...
I suppose that's true, yeah.
Uniqueness. Because, like, even in, I mean, the stereotype is, like, Irish and Scottish with the red heads and stuff, but
right.
Even then, it's barely 20% of the population. It's just significantly higher than what it is outside of Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So I was reading some garbage online this week.
Okay.
That was claiming that Marvel wants all the original Netflix actors back for MCU. And I said, sure, I'll believe when I see it.
Yeah.
I really do think, like, I'm the perennial Iron Fist apologist. Like, I really did enjoy Finn Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think he was given poor material, you know?
Yeah. Although I've also said this before, out of that, like, Luke Cage's show had a stellar, like, first half until they killed Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
And, like, the back half really floundered. Like, I think as a whole, Iron Fist was a lot more consistent.
Yes, that's true.
Than both of those, or than Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of people just kind of harp on Iron Fist for, I don't know, various reasons.
It would be very hard to do... Oh, I saw a reel that said, black actors are taking all the redhead roles, especially for Comic-Con.
Yes, that is something that has very commonly happened.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, it's I believe the term is called the ginger side.
Yeah.
There's like dozens upon dozens of like recasting for live action roles of redheads into African Americans for some reason.
That's strange. And even like Karen Gillan, who notably played a very important character in the Infinity Saga, was in blue makeup, and her hair was under a bald cap.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh my goodness. I don't know if she's had her kid yet or not, but she's going to be an amazing mom. Fantismo says he hasn't heard the term ginger side. I've definitely heard it. I just never really considered what it was. Basically, if the news outlets coin any kind of a term for anything, you can pretty much bet that I'm throwing it out with the bathwater. As I don't want to hear, I don't care about this enough. Part of the reason I was telling my dad this morning, or this afternoon, part of the reason I'm so enamored with the 1920s, 30s, 40s is there was still integrity in journalism.
Yeah. That has long been gone.
Yeah. And yet, oddly, we still teach it.
Teach journalism?
Integrity in journalism.
Oh. This is how you avoid it.
I guess. Fantisma, you said you were painting tonight. What were you painting? Smaller brush here.
I really love this Hulk sculpt.
It's a great one.
But they did a moderately decent job of hiding the mold lines, like for where you like assembled the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
There are like parts of it that are just like stand out. So like the legs here, they had it going down the crease of the like jeans down the side, so it's hidden and like it looks like a part of it, but as it goes down past the leg, like it's just really obvious. And a lot of the like upper parts are like in the mold lines of the muscles, so it's like it hides it better.
Okay.
But like, yeah, some of it just stands out and just,
yeah,
I feel like needs, I wouldn't want to use like green stuff to kind of fill it, but
well, I mean, it would be
that'd
appropriate.
be too bulky. Yeah.
Fantisma says a local pub called the Angry Goat and has a ton of goat art lining the wall. Someone encouraged you to paint an angry goat. Well, okay. That seems appropriate. We had a goat as part of our D&D party once. Like, it was just this throwaway, like, beast of burden type thing, and it completely developed a character. To the point where it had, like, abilities and stuff. And on my friend Spud's turn, he would like, roll for the goat. have that picture on?
I was about to say,
I
I
do.
had a
It's right
hilarious-
behind me. Hang on a second.
No problem.
Oh no, you're good. Like I will grab it in a second.
No, I was just gonna say I had a hilarious session of D&D, like a couple weeks ago because my DM rolled like random stuff
As you do.
for like treasure and rewards, and my character in that like is a warlock.
Good choice.
And his
Blast.
patron is like the first leprechaun.
Okay, that's different.
So like it's Archfey, but it's like the Archfey that was like the king of the leprechauns.
Okay.
And so like he's a con man who's going around like stealing and like gathering up gold and stuff and sending it to the patron.
Yeah.
Essentially, like the backstory was, I had like really bad gambling debts, and he like paid them off, and that was how like the pact started.
So this is the first D&D party I ever played in.
Oh yeah,
like properly. We played in high school, but it was never like. It was like whatever. So I don't remember everybody's name, but I do remember. I think who played everybody. I do. So this was Sammy's character, and I can tell you his name was Soror. Man, I can't. Come on, focus, camera. There you go. And then this is the one I don't remember. It might be Greg, actually. That might be the Gith Yankee. But it doesn't look like it, so I doubt it. Sammy's brother Leo was our... Oh, you know what? That was Tyler McDougald. He was some sort of a warlock. The druid was Sammy's brother Leo, who was obsessed with min-maxing things. This dwarf here was me, Halvar the Protector. He quite genuinely had Mjolnir as his weapon. He had a couple ranks in Barbarian, and we'll explain that in a minute. This is this big lump of metal is Tim. He belonged to. He was the familiar of this sort of wizardy girl over here. Oh dear, my desk is falling apart. We had. I don't remember who the ranger was. But I think if I think about it long enough, I'll probably figure it out. This is Ranzak. He was Alex's goblin. He was a liar, and he was very, very good at it. Yes, Tim was a familiar. Anyway, yeah, Ranzak literally lied my character into being. It was awesome. It was really impressive. My friend Shannon was the sort of wizard paladin person. Yeah, paladin. Then we had, well, I'll get back to the pinball wizard. This big lug over here is Two Rock, son of Three Stone, father of many boulders, or sorry, father of many pebbles. He was a barbarian and constantly getting kill stolen, by me mostly. Then we got this guy. That is, well, he's the king. We call him the king. He didn't really have a name. He was just a dwarf barbarian. He was intended to be a throwaway character. And then Ranzak lied to the dwarf keeper of the records and said, "Don't you know who this is? This is Lord Esteban von Tubrick of the Swaddle Dog clan. Nat 20 versus Nat 1. And the keeper of the records, rather than like doing anything about it, just amended the records. And nice. The Swaddle Dog clan became born. So if you look at my shield, there is a Swaddle Dog on it. So yeah, that was the king. Then we had a tiefling a dragonborn of some kind, and then this is Pam's character. She was just a kind of run-of-the-mill wizard person. But yeah, it was a hell of a campaign. It lasted way longer than it ought to have. And here we are. and then gave way to many Call of Cthulhu and Sentinel Comics RPG games, as we discovered that those were just better systems.
So in my campaign, where like I've got the warlock, essentially we're playing in this succession war type thing.
Yep.
Right. I guess succession games. Like the emperor's getting old, and so it's like all his kids are competing to see who would be best to lead the country, the empire.
Battle for the Cowl.
Yeah. And my character's like 3 of the 5 party members are like related somehow.
Oh boy.
Like one's a grandson, and one's a actual like son. Like essentially this emperor had like gone around sleeping with like every person ever, like Genghis Khan type thing.
Sure.
Don't
do that, kids.
No. So my guy is just like, oh, there's a lot of chaos and confusion going on with this. Like, I'm gonna stick around with this group of party as they go around and try and do this competition to see which one gets to be the next emperor, and maybe I can get some extra coin along the way.
Sure.
So a lot of what I do is just randomness that like kind of just sows chaos into everything.
Nice.
Like on a deliberate way in order for me to try and capitalize on the confusion. So a random item that I got rewarded with a while back was a Wand of Wonder.
Oh, nice.
So completely random. It's like, what does it do? We don't know. You roll a D100 and see.
Yeah.
And so after looking at the list, like the first thing I saw was like, oh no, I could potentially spawn a random elephant.
Yep.
And that's like, I was like desperately wanted to do that.
So Spud, the sorcerer that I didn't mention, he was a wild magic sorcerer, and he absolutely, like, I encouraged him to just lean into the wild magic. Just you want to be rolling wild magic like 4, 5, 6 times a night.
Yep.
And one night,
yep,
Turok and I were engaged in this knockdown drag out with a troll, and in comes Pinball Wizard's goat. He rolls for the goat. Now, somehow the goat triggered wild magic. I think it was in Spud's attempt to like control the goat. And yeah, Spud came pole vaulting over Turok and kicked the troll in the face to drop it.
Awesome.
As Turok was winding up for the killing blow. Poor Logan.
So, in
yep.
the most recent session, sorry.
No, you're good.
We got into like a combat.
And
I was like, oh, well, I'm going to use my Wand of Wonder and see what happens.
Sure.
So I roll my D100 and I roll a 34. And I'm like, oh no, guys, this is it.
It's the elephant.
And then I like look at it and it's like, hey, you spawn a random animal. Roll another D100. I'm like, this is it, guys.
Elephant, let's go.
I spawned the elephant just in the middle of nowhere. It's like this, it was, like mass combat. So there's just like platoons of people all like in a King of the Hill kind of capture a section of hill. And I was like, there's an elephant on the hill now. And everyone's like, what do we do with this? And it was hilarious because then it was like the spell just, or not the spell, but the item says like the animal's not friendly to you or anything in particular, it just behaves like an animal does. And I'm like,
just an animal.
Elephants are incredibly territorial, and you just spawned in a group of hostile people, and so it just started charging, just mowing down people every which way, and I was just cackling in the complete and utter chaos that I caused. And then one of my party members ruined my fun.
They kill the elephant?
No, he was about to, one of the, like, war groups ran away to kind of regroup.
Yeah.
And we were trying to, like, let's get the elephant away from the party, and we'll, like, deal with it or something.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. And so he, like, made an animal handling check to, like, scare it off and shoo it away. And I was like, wait a second. And, like my plan, because I took the turn right after him, was to beseech my patron to see if I could buy a spell upgrade to cast Animal Messenger, but instead of targeting a tiny creature, be able to target the elephant and have it go deliver a message to the other party group that had run off. And the message was going to be get wrecked, and then it would just start attacking them.
Nice.
And then but because my party member shooted away, I couldn't do that, and it made me sad.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But
So
alas,
Fantisma says he's scared to run Call of Cthulhu. Sorry, this is we got to get back a little ways here.
No,
Fantisma.
no.
Call of Cthulhu, honestly, I was incredibly intimidated to run. To the point where Alex actually ran it with me in such a way that, like, I was in charge of the story stuff and he did all the numbers work, which worked incredibly well. We ran a massive campaign of Call of Cthulhu. We didn't get very far with it. Unfortunately, the pandemic happened before we could really dive in. But the gist of it was the investigators started. How did they start? It was just like a standard, like, museum exposition situation that ended them in a tomb that, if you ever end up at PAX East, there is a road called D Street that you take to get in. And off of D Street, there's a little inlet. It's part of the bay, harbor, whatever, the Boston water situation. And there's a strange, like, pyramid situation coming out of that inlet, or coming out of the water there. And at one point, that pyramid situation, was gold or golden. And we used to call it, oh, hey, it's Kanye West's tomb. This was before Kanye West was controversial, or at least not as controversial. And so we adapted that as the Tomb of Weston Kanye, which sounded vaguely more Egyptian. And that, oh, that's not the right color at all. Okay. Hate it when that happens. Yeah, so there was a lot more to it than that, and it was eventually they ended up at the library at the Milton Academy, which was like the most prestigious preppy school we could think of, and that sent them out to Indianapolis, where they ended up investigating a like playhouse. And while we were writing the whole thing at Gen Con one year, and we were in an Uber, we were in the backseat of an Uber, and the driver goes, I'm really curious, like, tell me more, like, what are you guys writing? And, like, we were feeling generous that night, so we were like, all right, sure, we'll talk to you about it. And he's like, and he reaches over and shuts the meter off. Now, of course, that's like a giant red flag when you're riding in an Uber, or Lyft wasn't a thing at that point. It was pre-Lyft. The driver shuts the meter off, and he's like, I'm going to take you on a different route. I'm not going to charge you for this ride. I want to show you some of the haunted places around Indianapolis. And he said, like, I'm leaving the GPS on. That's the tracker that Lyft uses, that Uber uses, rather. So, you guys are safe, but I want to show you some of these places. He showed us some wild places around the city. And then brought us back to our hotel. Everything was great, but it was super cool. Like,
that is really cool.
Yeah. So that story ended up really, really neat, and I wish we had gotten to finish it. A little black in there. Just a little bit. But it was super cool. The result was fantastic. Well, that's not gone well. Oh, completely botched that. Wow. Mixing paint is a problem, apparently. Fine, we'll try poster boy blue. This is like way too dark, but this is like X-Men blue. Did I do it?
I don't know, did you?
Did I get it? Yes, I did. Finally. Jesus Christmas. Let's see if I made enough to paint all her blue bits. Yeah, that's much better.
Go. Okay. Now, what should I do to highlight purple?
Purple is tough to highlight. Like, I
Like-
always struggle with that.
I've got Gene Stealer, but I think that's too bright.
Yeah.
Like, I just want a little bit.
So, like, you could mix a Gene Stealer with... what if you did... You don't have Xeris Purple, do you?
In Citadel, I've got Gene Stealer and Phoenician Purple.
Oh, yeah.
But I have an Alien Purple, which is a smidge lighter than Phoenician. Which is an Army Warpainter version.
Yeah. I mean, you could try that.
I think the Alien Purple is what I started with, though, and then I put the
Okay, so do that.
Gucci Violet over top of it.
So yeah, so go the Alien Purple plus Gene Stealer.
Because I was thinking I also have Orc Blood, but I feel like it's more washed out, less saturated.
Yeah. So when you say blood, I think of my Green Stuff World Technicals. I have Demon Blood, which is a purple blood.
And then I have like Mutant Hue, which is just really washed out.
Yeah. Take care, Fantasma. Thanks for talking, man. We'll see you soon.
And then like Warlock Purple is too pink.
Right.
Although Grimoire Purple, that's still kind of a more flat, washed out color. So I've continued on in the Arkham Horror LCG for the Dark Matter campaign with Father Mateo.
Nice.
And that campaign is really good. Oh,
Good.
dang it. Way too much. It was like stopped up a little until I squeezed it and then popped open and exploded.
Oof, it's the worst.
But I started with In the Thick of It, so I started with 3 XP.
Yep.
And I posted about like the first scenario getting 10 XP. And after that, the deck runs so well that I'm just like, what do I spend experience on now to upgrade?
I mean, yeah, that's... Sammy and I have run into that a couple of times, where we're just like, oh, we've finished our decks, and it's only scenario like 2 or 3.
Yeah, like I find it weird that it only takes less than 15 experience to get a deck that just steamrolls through whatever.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's staying in its lane, like I mean, certain decks, you're not gonna get a single deck that's literally a jack of every single trade. But
How's about it? I don't know. Like mine could hold up pretty well.
yeah, well, Mateo is that way.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking the initial version of him that starts with 5 XP, but gets his Elder Signs like take an extra action and you automatically succeed.
Yeah.
Like I had built decks around
insane.
Essentially proccing the Elder Sign as much as possible.
Right.
Which was great and fun. But now the way that I have this deck set up with the way the Bless tokens work, I'm auto succeeding like once or twice every round.
Right.
Regardless of what I'm doing. And I'm just it's absurd.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And the fact that I can like get my stats to like his base stats are 4 willpower, 3 intelligence, 2 brawn, and 3 agility.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get him to a 6-5-4-5.
Jeez.
I can literally investigate pretty much any location. I can fight any enemies that come up. Like, he is legit absurdly good for whatever.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, I'm not doing any of that stuff in the campaign. I'm playing the support character, but everyone else like succeeds a whole bunch because of how many Bless tokens are in the bag that I'm putting in.
Yeah.
So when you maximize the success rate of test because of that, like it's really good.
Absolutely.
It's a little runny and just a smidge too light. Try to light that up. So let's make some of this. A little bit of that.
So I've moved on from Final Fantasy Remake to Rebirth.
What's the difference?
Part 2.
Okay. It's like the same game, but part 2,
they tightened up a couple of things. Like, Remake came out on the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
And Rebirth is PS5 exclusive, I think.
There we go. That looks good.
Story is still very good. I would expect nothing less from Square Enix.
Yeah.
Gameplay is very tight.
Go over there.
I spent an inordinate amount of time doing side quests in Chapter 2, though. And I'm like, I really hope the whole game is not this way.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of guy who, like, if the side quest is straightforward, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And they clearly mark every side quest on the map. And I was like, okay. But yeah, they brought over. So they introduced a couple of weird things in the DLC for the first game that they've tightened up and reintroduced in the second. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. It basically gives the characters more interaction with each other, which is very cool. It also, like, it shows that, yes, Cloud is awesome, but he's not, like, you don't have to play with Cloud if you don't want to. Or I happen to be fond of the way he plays, so I do tend to main him, but there are plenty of arguments to the contrary.
Yeah.
And I've been helping my friend, I think I mentioned this last time, I've been helping my friend play through Super Metroid for the first time. Which necessitates me doing a high percentage run. I'm not, as per usual, I'm not going for 100% off the top of my head. If I happen to get 100% of the items, like, great, but I'm not, like, pushing for that.
Yeah.
Because I want to know where things are. Like, I want to be like, oh, hey, you're in this room, you should do this. Or... But, like, one of the things we're looking at is how much of the narrative is actually clear to someone who hasn't steeped themselves in Metroid. So he's been playing through a lot of the early Metroid games to sort of see what he can glean from just the limited amount of information that is out there. Or is in game, rather. He's doing pretty well, too. Like, he's picked up a couple of details that are like, oh, wow, yeah, okay. That's not something I picked up until my second, third, fourth playthrough. And that's not, of course, without me, like, offering guiding questions and stuff, but it's an interesting study, like, from the perspective of a teacher who's, at least some component of what I teach is reading comprehension. I'm a librarian.
Yeah.
Like, what are we actually teaching here? Are we teaching reading the words on the page or getting the point across to in a specific or like the meaning across, and how much is actually open to interpretation versus how much needs to be spelled out for someone? My hypothesis is you could use video games and narrativeless or like textless video games to do a lot more than they're given credit for. I am going to do something. I'm going to go off the beaten path here.
There we go.
Yes. Okay. Mission accomplished. Sort of.
So that's the green and purple highlights. Where is... I don't need a lot out of that. You have got a button on your pants.
It's not broken?
Nope, the button's still there, intact.
Huh. Must be Jen then.
Huh?
Is it Jen or Bruce?
It's Bruce.
Wow.
But I needed... so Jen's holding this giant broken up I-beam. So I needed a little bit of a metallic, so I got like a bronze that I'm going to kind of get the edges with to give it a little bit of a shine. But while I had it out, I was like, well, let me just at least get that button on Bruce's pants.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this kind of like weird cross between dry brushing and stippling.
Yeah. Oh, I'm familiar with that technique. All
There
right.
we go.
Had to look at my reference photo a little bit more closely.
Yeah?
She has yellow eyes.
That's weird.
Yeah. Like normally I'd expect white, but
Like behind the mask or whatever.
yeah. So, yellow it is.
Oop, okay. Where is my dry brush? There you are.
So we went to my parents for I mean, for Kara and me it was Thanksgiving today.
Uh-huh.
It was lovely. Very quiet. I love my family so much, but they are a lot when everybody's together. I guess my cousin did the turkey on the grill this year.
That's weird.
Cool, but I wouldn't be able to do that. Next year, he wants to bust out my grandfather's 14-foot table. Which I can't wait to see again. It's been a long time.
That looks really good now. So I took the I-beam,
As one does.
and I painted like with a dark red kind of thing for like the base color.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rivets and stuff, I just went ahead and like used gunmetal, lead belcher, etc.
Yep.
Threw in Nuln Oil along the creases for shadow. Highlighted the edges with that bronze color.
Yep.
And then just dry brushed a dry rust effect on top of that.
Nice. Very early on, I can't remember what we were painting. It must have been actually
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man where he's like leaning on the I-beam.
Yeah, we found a tutorial for painting rust that worked really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this other effect here for Hulk. So with Hulk exploding out, he's got all the like gravel, or not gravel, but concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And like the underside is a brownish dirt type thing because it's what's like underneath the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a wet mud effect that I'm going to kind of dry brush over all the dirt parts of it.
Nice.
And leave the cracked concrete stuff with just a gray concrete-ish.
Very cool.
Don't need a lot. But I'm going to test this first on the underside. Yeah, that's good.
It's not the pink I'm looking for. I mean, no. I would rather use Emperor's Children. That looks sealed. Oh, what's this? Pink Horror. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Sealed. Thank you. No idea what I used for flesh here.
This mud effect is really good.
Yeah. Is it a technical or?
It's part of Army Painter's like effects paint.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a wet mud, and I'm just dry brushing it over the, like I said, the dirt parts of the base. I got a little heavy there, but.
Maybe I have an even smaller brush. Which I have.
That looks wonderful.
I think mine looks okay. All right, let's see if I can get cat eyes in here. Apparently I can.
You can what?
Get cat eyes.
Nice.
Like, her eyes in this first panel are very distinctly cat. Like, it's giving cat.
Let's see for hair.
Now.
Yeah, that was blast from the past. I don't usually do dry brushing much anymore.
I don't either. It just doesn't serve the same purpose that it once did.
Yeah. But like going over the terrain like this really.
Yeah, it does. It's very helpful for terrain. Okay. Whew.
That commando green is like the perfect highlight for the hairs.
Yeah. Okay. That seems to have worked. You know what? That's how I'm going to do this.
What's up?
Well, I was trying to decide how I want to highlight this, and I think the answer is null and oil, but then, like, the super, super dark areas, just paint black afterward. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. That's the full one. Where's the not full one? No. Falling off. This is why I need a drawer. No, no. Are you no? No. Ow.
Don't hurt yourself.
No, I'm just beating up my desk.
What did it ever do to you?
Sucks. Don't have drawers.
Seems like a desk should have drawers.
Right?
If a desk doesn't have drawers, does that mean it's just a table?
My point exactly. Sure. Hmm?
this look? I think that looks good.
Oh, I didn't want to do it this way, but I guess this is where we're at.
Do what?
I was gonna try and spot Nolan Oil, but then it slopped, and I was like, you know what? I can just paint the whole model and then bring back the yellow. It's just a straight yellow, so it's not. And another coat of yellow never hurt any coverage.
Especially of yellow.
Yeah.
So this model of Hulk also has lots of veins bulging on his arms.
Yeah. The more I like the previous version, the more I went over it, the more I'm like, oh my god, veins.
So what I'm doing right now to just make them pop even more is I have the moot green.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this bright radioactive green looking color.
It's exactly what I used on Bane, actually.
Yeah, kind of that same deal.
Okay, that's Nolan Oil sorted.
No, I just gotta wait for a minute. This is what, 1960s? Yeah.
So we had a little bit of shading.
That's not black. Hey, Broody,
What's up?
why was the turkey arrested?
Why?
I don't know, but the police suspected foul play.
Nice. Go to bed.
Probably should. Any dry yet? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, cool. All right, let's get a little of this involved. Stay up there. Show me the right shade. Yes.
Bless you.
Thanks.
Now I need a smidge of black. Nope, nope, nope. Where is it? How about this? That'll do. The incredibly tricky part of eyes.
Go on.
So I had the white,
Yep.
obviously. I added that same moot green that's like the really bright, like radiation glowy green.
Yep. Oh, because Hulk's eyes are big enough that you can actually get.
And doing black for a
color in
pupil
there.
dot.
Yeah.
So you get like the. Because like just the green kind of just washes out the white
Right.
with the green skin and stuff everywhere. Adding just that little pupil. Let's see here. I've got some extra silver over here. Just dry brush that up a little bit. Go. 11:30, and I think I'm done with these guys.
Nice.
After
Three
4
streams, yeah.
Wait, I gotta make sure that I get this orientation right, because I'm terrible at it.
Orientation?
Yeah, make sure that I'm showing him off, and no, so he's not upside down.
Oh, right. Wow. Whoa. That is an angry Hulk.
Yeah. And She-Hulk.
She's lifting something heavy.
A giant
She
ivy.
does.
I think in the game she can lift like the highest amount like of any other character.
The Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, it's like some based on your strength, you can carry or lift and throw like a certain size. So like trash cans are size 0, cars are like size 2.
Yeah.
And then buildings are like size 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think she can do it by herself, but it's if you have her and Hulk together, they can pretty much lob any object on the building at an opponent.
Nice.
So if you want to toss the Sanctum Sanctorum at someone, like they can do it together as long as they're both touching it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's like I think the largest piece of scenery that they produced for the game.
Well, that they've produced.
Yeah.
C-27 has definitely gone to a size 5. And of course the, idiot fanboys have created rules for it and everything. This is once I get the black in there, this is going to look so good. I'm really, really happy with this highlight layer.
Okay. Go grab someone else. Whoa.
What you got?
Sorry. One of my minis I was looking at was sliding because it wasn't secure.
Oops.
But I got it, so we're good.
Good.
Come here, you. Take it off. Ow.
This particular mix of yellow, it's a 50-50 Capri Sunshine and Spotlight Yellow.
Uh-huh.
And I was just noticing how much this separates her from the X-Men.
Uh-huh.
Like, it is a totally not X-Men shade anymore. I'm really, really happy with that. I'm looking at her costume in the comic books, and it's definitely a paler yellow than you ever see an X-Men character in.
Yeah. Yeah, the X-Men yellow is really vibrant colored,
Yeah.
like very saturated.
Yep. And it's I also have been like, again, the more I do this, the more I realize just how different various members of the X-Men are in their shades of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But like, yeah, they're all within a certain tolerance.
It's funny how like some characters also don't even follow the normal color scheme either at all.
I mean, our respective favorite, or our collective favorite,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, doesn't pay any attention to the X-Men colors at all. I mean, to be fair, Gambit was created later.
Yeah. But even stuff like Havoc's costumes, like pretty much solid black.
Yeah.
And he was significantly earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think his like X Factor costume was
Yeah.
yellow and blue, but
Yeah.
like his normal X-Men costume was that black with the white rings and stuff all on it, and
Yep.
cheese and gloves.
Who are you doing now?
Hera.
Oh, okay, nice.
I just finished Kanan yesterday, like I said, and
Yeah.
since I have all the greens out, I was like, oh, I can just keep working on her because she's green as well.
Is this Star Wars Shatterpoint?
Yeah. Just a smidge of white. Close your eyes. It's like this cerulean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can we talk for a minute about Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera?
Yeah.
What a great choice.
Yes. I
Like,
concur.
I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead just in general. I mean, she is Ramona Flowers. Like, she's married to Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor. Like, impressive resume without even attacking Ahsoka onto it. But her performance outclassed basically everybody else on that show.
Yeah. I thought all of the casting was very good for that show.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really know what to do with that show when going into it. I think we talked about this pretty lengthy, or in a pretty lengthy way, because I didn't have any of the backstory from the animated stuff. But nonetheless, I really found myself very much enjoying it. It was fun.
Yeah. Ray Stevenson's character was really good.
Ray Stevenson.
Like Mary, he was Balin Skull, the
That's
Dark
right.
Jedi.
Yeah, that's
I was about to say like Mary Elizabeth Winstead was really good, but I think he was the real scene stealer.
Well, he had more scenes to steal. I think like, and maybe it's just that I like her as an actress, but like when she was on screen, I was like, oh yes, okay, we're about to get something cool. Where when he was on screen, I'm like, monologuing. I was impressed that that's not what his character boiled down to, but it's what I expected, you know? Like, she subverted expectations. He did not. Or no, that's not true either. I don't know. Yes, I agree. I think what I'm saying is I agree with you. He was awesome.
It is a shame that he passed away before, like, really getting to do more.
Yeah, I think he could have done a lot with that character and didn't get to. Which is, yeah, it's a shame. Do you think we'll get an Ahsoka season 2? I haven't been paying attention.
Oh yeah, they've already said that they're planning on it. In fact, they've already announced that they're like recasting that role.
I mean, that's a shame, but okay, yeah, I get it.
It's like, yeah, they had important stuff for him to do, and then
yeah,
they can't just like ignore it, what they set up.
Well, they did with Chadwick Boseman. As much as I love Chadwick Boseman, I think he was a great Black Panther. Unfortunately, it's doing a disservice to the character to not recast that role.
Yeah.
A little bit. Right here in the transition. All right. Okay, I'm actually really happy with that. Extra green. That is far smoother than I would have expected. Just with melon oil. I'll hit some of that with black. Oh, we got 15 minutes? Oh yeah, no problem. Even enough time to hydrate. Let's go. So what I'm noticing here is doing the Nuln Oil and then like kind of smoothing it out. Really allows me to see where the black lines need to be. Which is fantastic.
were complaining about Citadel paints earlier, but I really like this Jokero orange as well.
Jokero orange is pretty rad. It's such a
Orange
unique color. Like it's almost, I don't know. It's different, you know.
But it's also like the perfect X-Wing flight suit color.
Yes. Yeah. Wait. Okay. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, what's up?
My headphones just made a noise. I wonder if the battery might be dying.
Yeah, I got that alert like once or twice yesterday, which is why I had to like randomly plug in.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you were doing. Yeah. Yep, I got a red light blinking on the bottom. But that's okay, we're almost done here. Tighten up a little bit here.
Oops.
you do saying oops there? I know what I did when I said oops.
I just like realized I didn't
Whoops.
paint the lower half of her legs. I stopped at
Oh.
like where her straps are.
That's the thing I've done.
I was about to put the orange away. Nope, I still have to do that.
Wait, doesn't Hera have? Oh yeah, that's right. Her pants
So the X-wing orange.
Yeah, like the flight suit.
She's got. Let's go to the line first.
Perfect.
Yep, happy with that.
I'd say it's midnight, so I'm probably not going to dispense another color to keep working.
Yep, I think that's where we call it.
So I'm
I'm
assuming we'll
really
get
happy
started.
with this mini. Come on. What do you think?
Yeah, she looks really good.
Yeah, I wish that my hand didn't distort the color. Hold on, let's see if I can get it
camera makes it look a little funky, but I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, so we will not be back next week. There it is.
What
Because
the hell?
You good?
Sorry, I messed some paint up.
No, I'm good. So we will not be back next week. I
smeared it
will.
around.
Fair. I will be back on Monday, as long as everything goes smoothly, for more Guacamelee. I also have Guacamelee 2. Picked it up on the Steam sale, so we've got that. I'm definitely in installing mode before Space Marine 2 here. But, so Patsy will sit, as the Hulks did before her, and I will get to her base and the rest of the highlighting next time. So, take care, everybody. Have a great week. Be safe, be well. We'll talk to you Monday at, what time do I stream? 8 o'clock Eastern. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
See ya.